Good morning, and in today's Business 360, we'll look at the big stories making rounds and the key features in the world of business. Adopts e-naira as alternative to banknotes. Also, we'll x-ray how Turkey's earthquake as new Bank of Japan governor. We'll begin from there. Japan's government nominated academic and former bank to parliament showed on Tuesday. If confirmed, whether would succeed his agency chief, Rezo Himeno, and Korea Central Bank and Bank of Japan executive Shinichi Uchida were named as a team. The term starts on March 20th. The government's nomination needs the approval of both houses of parliament, making it effective. The big stories. Large steel mills in southern Turkey are expected to remain shut. About a dozen facilities in Iskenderun and Mayamene, close to the epicenter of the February 6 Temblor's Producer Association. Although plants in the area suffer addition, he said. All steel makers in the area are closed. The plants may remain shut at least until the end of this month, regarding the earthquake and how it's affecting the steel production capacity in Turkey. Away from by opening up the private investments and this impression that the only reason the Gulf countries are doing well is high oil and gas prices, IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva said into a cycle of splurging during times of high oil prices have become more careful with spending. Saudi Arabia's non-oil economy grows at faster pace in over a year. That's the outlook regarding the Middle East and all countries that are doing use the e-naira as an alternative to the banknotes. The CBN's Director of Corporate Communication, Osita Nwanisobi, payment system in the country's financial sector would handle the surge in the volume of transactions across, and the digital currency has recorded 8 billion naira worth of transactions as of October to get the new naira note. But the CBN and Nigeria's government are saying Nigerians should utilize the e-naira. Petrol has risen by 110% in 4 months, according to reports. The 12 naira per litre on February 3rd this year, as the sole importer of petroleum products, then at 148 naira per litre. However, the scarcity has seen prices hit an average of Marketers Association of Nigeria. While the hike was witnessed at the depots, pump prices had also jumped from 180 naira per scarcity of fuel and price hikes in Nigeria. But there are some positive stories within the country. Nigeria's first deep water exploration and production vessel, Bonga, hit a 1 billion facility was completed ahead of schedule. The managing director of Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Delivery that has brought significant benefits to Nigeria and Nigerians. That's the outlook.
As Nigeria prepares for the general elections holding from 25th February 2023, broadcasters are enjoined to make ethical reportage their watchword into broadcasting. All broadcasting stations must adhere to the principles of pluralism and ensure equitable airtime to all political parties, or for the avoidance of doubt, the broadcast of a political campaign, jingle, announcement, or any other form of partisan party identification or NBC. Your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer Management.
Thank you. It's your Business 360. My name is Blyden Nukem. We'll move to global economy. We'll begin with Japan's economy. Japan's economy rebounds less than expected in the fourth quarter. The Japanese economy grew in the third quarter, but falling short of market consensus of a 0.5% rise. This was according to flash data, and net trade added positively. On an annualized basis, the GDP rose 0.6% for the full year. Let's move to African economy, looking at Angola's inflation rate as it hits in January of 2023 from 13.86% in the previous month. The lowest reading since October 2015 as food prices increases at a slower pace from 0.87% in December. It would be a good time that indicates positivity from an Angolan point of view regarding that inflation indicates high price of commodity and weakness in the value of money. As at April 2022, inflation was far high at 25.79%. It dropped further downward in July 2022, hitting 21.4%. But the trajectory came on the downward direction. October 2022, it was 16.68% Angola, and while commodities and their prices are dropping. Talking about commodities, natural gas futures trade off their 2-year lows, and Dan Deming has more to give us as he examines.
After a couple days of slightly higher price action, natural gas futures are now pushing back down towards the recent lows, which also corresponds to this 2.40 level or so. And currently looking at today's price action, 2.432 is the current price point, which is down a little over 3 per year, and again, just holding just above 2+ year lows. And when you look at some of the driving factors, really it's a supply-demand story. That supply is outpacing demand as we move through this cycle. And that theme seems to be playing once again in the market today. Couple that with the weather patterns having much impact on the expectations for demand. So overall, though, pretty moderate temperatures in Europe, coming through the situation last fall where prices really went very high. Why we're seeing that.
Talking about natural gas and its perspective, let's go straight to the market to see what the energy market is saying, or indicated rather. A drop in the morning market by 1 point for US crude oil, which is a WTI crude, current price $79.1 per barrel, downward by 1.28% decline this morning. For Nigeria's price benchmark is the Brent crude oil, current price is $85 per barrel, just downward slightly by 0.65 points, a negative 0.76% decline. For natural gas, it's slightly solid this morning, though the gains are not much, but at 2.33% growth. For gasoline, it's the same story, slightly downward, heating oil, slightly upward, coal, upward this morning. That's the outlook from the energy market. Let's see the metal market. The metal market's perspective, also solid, is showing different outlook and different perspective. Gold price is appreciating by 9 points this morning, a positive 0.49% appreciation. On current price is $1,862 per ounce. For silver, is slightly downward this morning at a current price of $21.829 per ounce. Copper slightly upward, not reasonably, but steel is downward by 6 points, a negative 0.15% decline. Current price for steel is 4,006 Chinese yuan per ton. Iron ore downward, and lithium with no significant difference. Let's look at the agricultural market. What this market is saying this morning. Agricultural perspective have shown some positivity and negativity at the same time. For soybeans, is a downward momentum of 1.25 points, a negative 0.08% this morning. Current price $1,541 per bushel. As for wheat is slightly upward but not significant in the market, $793 per bushel. For lumber, slightly downward this morning. Palm oil upward by 33 points, but after hitting that 4,000 mark, it did drop again. Current price 3,958 Malaysian ringgit per ton. For cheese, it's slightly downward this morning, and sugar price is slightly upward this morning. A second outlook of the agricultural market gives us a picture of coffee, cotton, cocoa, rice, canola, oats, wool, and sugar. But it's basically what it is, and the market shows what the picture of agricultural perspective has been. Let's move quickly to the forex market and have an idea of Todd Colvin commentary. Well, pound notch higher ahead of today's US CPI, which is a consumer price index data. Todd Colvin gives us a picture of what we are expecting in the market this morning. Todd Colvin.
British pound nudges higher to start the week, holding in a pretty tight range of 120.30 up to 121.50. and ending around 121.30. It's been holding in a pretty tight range since the big move after the U.S. payroll numbers on February 3rd, holding between 120 and 122. Also kind of lines up nicely with the 50 and 100-day moving averages. So we've seen it kind of waiting. It's kind of coiling and waiting for some sort of catalyst event. We do have some things coming out this week. We'll talk about those in a moment. But again, the pound nudging higher today to start the week. Now, what does this all mean for volatility? Well, if you check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com, you'll notice that volatility has been moving higher since the big move lower after the payroll number in the U.S. We got down to about 120. We've seen things kind of nudging higher. We've seen volatility moving lower. We also get claims.
While Todd is giving the persuasive tendencies around the British pound, let's go. Market indications have shown some positivity for most of the majors, especially the euro against the US dollar. Yesterday it was at 1.06 US dollar to 1 euro, but it's upward to 1.07 this morning. Upward by pounds against the US dollar, current price 1.219 US dollar equaling 1 pound. No significant difference in the market. The euro dollar is slightly lower in this morning market. Most of investors or traders are looking forward to what will happen in the market moving forward. Let's also have a look. It's 460 naira to 1 US dollar. The concerns regarding the new naira note and the concerns regarding the scarcity of naira in the market. It's a naira, 554 naira equaling 1 pound at the international and exchange rate markets against the naira. Let's look at naira's performance in the dollar to naira perspective in the market. Buying rate is 756 naira to $1 and selling rate is 935 naira to 1 pound if you're buying, and if you're selling, it's the outlook that you're seeing. So 805 if you're buying, and if you're selling, it's 790 naira to 1 for Bitcoin. It's 21,814. US dollar is 1,512. US seem to be bouncing back, but it would be a good time to look at what the Asian market is saying this morning. Asian equity markets mostly rose, tracking Wall Street higher, as investors also assess data showing that Japan's economic rebounded. In Australia, the February consumer confidence fell sharply to be back near here. Shares in Australia, Japan, and South Korea advanced, while Hong Kong stock market based on yesterday's result or report. Cornell, MR. The Nigerian capital market ended trading on Monday with a 0.06% drop, 0.59 trillion naira to 29.61 trillion naira, 364.67 points. Investors traded 140 gainers. MRS led the gainers per share, the bottom losers. CWG topped the losers table after UBA led the day's trading with 28.62 million shares, valued at 200. And thank you for watching. My name is Blyden Ukem.